13th regular meeting minutes. Any corrections? Hearing none, what are the board's wishes?
I'll make a motion to approve the February 13, 2022, 2023 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the regular meeting minutes. Everyone in favor, state aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Meetings are approved. Item number 1, update on placemaking grant. With us is Andrew Straume, City Planner. Hello, Andrew.
Good evening, Commissioner Melhoff. Before I get started, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Andrew Straume. I'm the City Planner for the City of Mandan, if you don't know me already. Again, jumping off, before I get into things, I wanted to first thank the Park Board, of course, for providing a letter of support. When we first went for our application in 2022, your board did provide a letter of support, which definitely went a long ways, so thank you for that. I also wanted to thank Cole and Dave for all the help that you guys have given me and the department over the course of the last year with this project and others. It's always great to work with you guys when we have the chance to. The high school placemaking study is underway. Between our award in the fall and now, we have hired a consultant. We're working with 2 Mandan teams, Icon Architects and Stantec Consulting. They're just about 2 blocks apart from each other on Main Street. We're really happy to have them in our community helping us out with this. A project website's been developed. If you go to the, if I could have the screen, I'll show you up here. This has been included in all the communication that's gone out. Yeah. That should fix it. Perfect. So the high school study website is available, as I was saying, and there's a QR code or a link to it pretty much in every communication that's gone out. It will change over the course of the study, but it has a little bit of an overview talking about the school's plan and then just sort of what phases we're working on. Right now, we're just sort of in that first facility assessment type phase to know where the utilities are, to know what the attributes of all the structures are, etc. And they're doing that to figure out what could possibly be reused of the infrastructure and what's going to need to go. So that's kind of wrapping up. Again, Icon being on the team, they did the facility assessment for the school district that helped them determine where to go with their new school. So it's a lot of work that's already been done, which is fortunate that we don't have to duplicate that. Coming up next will be sort of a market analysis that the consultant's going to work on. And then I just wanted to make you aware that on March 28th, there's going to be the first public input meeting, which you may have already been invited to. We'll be at the high school in the gymnasium from 6 to 8 p.m. And you should be at that meeting if you've gone to school at Mandan High School or if you've gone to events there. If you're interested in redevelopment in Mandan, that's another good one to go to, or another great reason to be there. We won't have any ideas presented at that meeting, really. It'll primarily just be existing conditions and a lot of characteristics about the property for folks to provide comments and ideas for the consulting team to run with. Later on over the course of the study, kind of corresponding with the schedule that's outlined on here, we should have some additional public engagement this summer. We're hoping to have that be in line with big events like the Buggies and Blues or maybe Art in the Park, for example, where we can get out in the community, be very visible with this one, and see what people think about some of these ideas. Ideally, by August, we will wrap this project up, and we'll have a sort of master plan type document that shows how redevelopment should be accommodated on that property around your facilities, around the city's needs of the redevelopment. And we'll kind of go from there. As you know, with 2024 being the year that the school opens, we'll be going into redevelopment mode sooner than later. But tonight I just wanted to, again, thank the board for the letter of support, thank Cole for all the help he's given us over the year leading up to this, and take any questions if you have them. I can take them now. Thanks.
Thanks, Andrew. Any questions for Andrew? All right, thanks. Looking forward to see what the results of the study are.
Thanks, Miles. Take care.
Thanks. Item number 2, an update on design and bid update on Ferris Field and Youth Baseball Complex with Dave Free.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tonight, I'm just going to give you a quick update on where we're at with the baseball renovation and Ferris Field construction. I'll show a few slides here shortly, but I just kind of want to go through where we're at with what phase we're in now and what we're looking at doing here in the next month. So right now, we did send bids out March 1st. KLJ did. We'll receive them back and open bids on March 23rd. And then on April 10th, Cole and I and the Mandan Baseball Club, Girls Fast Pitch, will come back with recommendations to the board for approval on dollar amounts for the two projects. The two projects will be bid together, but we will be tracking them separately. Through the Mandan Baseball Club is paying for the baseball renovations, and right now the Park District is paying for the construction at Ferris Field. I talked to the Fast Pitch group today. They are fundraising right now. They got some promising news that they do have getting some money in place, so hopefully we can add things to the project as they come in. So just a couple things. If you look at your sheets, right now we're for design, right now we just up to date. The baseball club has paid $52,920 of the design. The design cost is $204,000 for the whole project, and the Park District has paid $22,680. And we're 30% of the design, and the baseball club 70% of the design. Does that kind of make sense where we're at? And they are paid to date as the invoices that Cameron St. Jackson has sent out. So, any questions on that? Okay, and then just go through the cost estimates again. The project for the base bids are $2.5 million roughly for the baseball renovation, and $575,000 roughly for Ferris Field. If you put the alternates in there, you're looking at another $986,500 for baseball, which brings it to about $3.5 million. If you add the alternates, and then if you add the alternates to Ferris Field, it's another $165,000, which brings it to about $750,000. So, and the two alternates for Ferris Field are backstops and fencing. So we are hoping that we can raise more money to get that stuff put in during the construction project this spring and summer, because I don't want to come back next year and put the fences in if we can get them in this year. So, any questions on any of that stuff? Okay, just to give you a quick overview, I'll put some stuff on the screen here to kind of show you what the project's going to kind of look like. So this is so that's the aerial of the baseball and Ferris Field. So can everybody kind of see that? So up to your right-hand corner, that's Diamond 9. That's going to be the main JV field, Babe Ruth field for the baseball club and the high school. That's going to be for sure infield turf and hopefully outfield turf, synthetic turf, and then with the grandstand and press box and a new batting cage. We put into place some safety fencing down left field line, which will have a 20-foot fence that goes all the way down left field line to protect people from walking into the facility. Where they walk in is going to be on the north side, so they're going to walk right by the left field line of Diamond 9. So we put a 20-foot fence there that can be lowered and raised with cranks and stuff like that too. And then we got a 20-foot fence on the outfield for about, I want to say like 50 feet. There's like a 20-foot fence in the left field, outfield, just for cars and stuff like that too. So for protection. So that's going to be in the base bid. That was one of the requirements for the Park District for the baseball club. The rest of it just shows you the infields for 10, 11, and 12 diamonds. Those are all alternates to get put in the project. So, and then over at Ferris Field are the two fields that are being laid out for multi-purpose fields. And there's just kind of a little better picture of of the design, so, for baseball. And then that's the Ferris field diamonds for 2, and there's space to the north for a third field. And Fast Pitch wants to preserve that for a synthetic turf, more of a competitive field in the future. Any questions?
Any questions, Commissioner?
Dave, with all this snow, are we going to be running a little bit tight for scheduling to get some of this stuff done?
Well, not for our stuff. We're still sitting pretty good. What's going to happen is the high school, I'm guessing they're supposed to play their first game on April 1st. I'm guessing that's probably not going to happen. So we will probably be doing quite a bit of rescheduling for the high school games or moving things around. So, but we're not scheduled to start till the end of April, and we can push that to May for our park district activities down there. So we're still in pretty good shape. And we do have a turf field for the high school. So, like I was saying earlier, if we can get some warm days and it can start melting, we can get that snow moved off there, and we can be ready to go in probably 7 to 10 days once we can just get that snow moved off of it and they can start playing. So
Thanks.
we don't need any drying time.
Any other questions? Oh, thanks, Dave.
Okay, thank you.
Item number 3, consider for approval to proceed with grant application for potential future boat ramp. Cole?
Vice President Melhaff and Commissioners. Nice ring to that tone, huh? And before you, as we've been mentioned before, we've had a kind of a 3-party assessment with City, County, and Parks to hopefully develop potential future boat ramp. And I use the word potential because this has been a discussion that we've been having for 20-plus years in the area I'm referencing to as car bodies. That site has some very strict covenants associated with it in the Lady Bird Johnson Act when the interstate was put through. So over the years, there's been some regulations that have been loosened up, and we've met with North Dakota DOT multiple times over those 20 years. And a year ago, at that time, their executive director, Panos, had given us approval to proceed with a preliminary boat ramp design and cost. So we partnered with the city and the county, and we actually worked with Morton County Water Resource District. They had an agreement with A2S. They were doing some riprap work along there. So we amended their agreement and got their support to proceed with this. And before you was a request to apply for grant funding. The ramp itself, again, is very preliminary. I will show an aerial as a temporary option. So this area, as we refer to as car bodies, the area to the south where you see the cars parked in the map is that Missouri Nature Trail that's managed by Morton County Park District. It is owned by the state, managed by the North Dakota State Parks with an agreement with Morton County to maintain it. So there's kind of a lot of layers associated with the part to the south. The area to the north where you see the layout of the boat ramp, everything to the north of car bodies is Mandan Park District property. It would be right across the street from our archery range that we operate today. So this site would be Park District owned property. If we were approved to move forward, obviously there has to be public hearings. Obviously there has to be the red tape associated with the federal and state locals representatives associated with this. You were given the 98-page feasibility study as far as the boat ramp itself. We definitely had 3 or 4 different options. I just wanted to show you the one that we've kind of proceed with first as far as the recommendation that allows access. There will be kayak opportunities, there will be portable restrooms, and there may be some other amenities like a fish cleaning station, stuff like that. This boat ramp itself is not a paved asphalt. At this time, it's referred to as a permeable pavers, which is new to our area. We felt that was something that kept the cost down, but allowed us the opportunity to keep the natural ability. So basically the permeable pavers, I don't want to use the lack of a better term, but a 12 by 12 square that kind of snaps into each other, that reinforces itself, that is drivable, that you can put gravel into to kind of keep the sub-base solid so that when we do have wet springs, we don't have the ruts that you see in most gravel or some type of sand type of parking lots. This would allow that to prevent any type of those type of issues. The concern obviously would be snow removal like we have today. We wouldn't be able to go in there with a blade and push snow onto those permeable pavers, but that's just an alternate that we're looking at right now to keep costs. As you see, this one before you is about 1.5 million. Again, engineer's estimate, and then we had many other options that have paved and other amenities, basically got all the way up to about 2.5 to 2.7 million dollars. So we would like to approval tonight to proceed with the grant applications in your packet. The first is the Outdoor Heritage Fund, and then the second would be the State Water Commission for cost share associated with design and also construction. We do have the funds available. In 2022, we had $25,000 set aside for this study that was shared 1/3 with the city and the county. Since that standpoint, we have not utilized all those funds. So we're not asking for approval to pay for the grant application. In your packet, you could see that A2S has a grant writing opportunities and skill level that they would present as a responsibility that they would write the grant for us. We're estimating that to be right around $2,500 to $3,000 that would be shared equally with the city, county, and parks. So we were just looking for approval tonight to proceed with the grant application. Again, we understand there's a local share that's probably going to be required. Those have not been worked out yet with the city, county, and parks. Obviously, some maintenance responsibilities. We've had some high-level discussions. It's on park property. We would continue to maintain it. Morton County has said they would assist with any type of ramp or any type of dock, because that's what they actually affiliate with today with a lot of their parks that they operate. So we have a pretty good work relation with Morton County Parks that we think we have the maintenance side taken care of. It's going to be is whatever that local share is. And typically most grants are 80-20. Sometimes they're 70-30. It really just depends on the value of whatever grant application we make to the Outdoor Heritage Fund. As in your packet, you see there are 4 directives. I highlighted 3 that I felt Directive A, C, and D really covered this area. And then across the river, the city of Bismarck looking at a master plan associated with potentially repurposing that boat ramp, which then would tie in perfect with what we're trying to accomplish to get everybody to come over across the river and use our boat ramp. We do not have a public boat ramp in the city limits of Mandan. We have private boat ramps, but we do not have a public boat ramp. So I will stand for any questions that you may have.
Thanks, Cole. Before our questions, just want to mention some project highlights. I was involved in or invited to a few of these meetings, and AE2S did do some study of the flows there, and it's very conducive to putting your boat in and out, which was a nice thing to discover. So it's not, we don't have to be very impactful to the shoreline or that drain there to accommodate this, which is kind of nice. And Cole had mentioned some of the covenants, and a lot of those are based on, the view from the interstate and preserving. And through this study, they've acknowledged that there's some non-native tree species that exist there, so we could actually clean some of that undesirable vegetation up and replace it with desirable. So there's a lot of added benefits there. As Cole mentioned, there's a 90-page document there, but those are a few things that I wanted to mention as well. Anybody else have any questions for Cole? Hearing none, what are the board's wishes?
I recommend approval for AE2S to apply for grant funding for the proposed boat ramp at Car Bodies area.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Mutter and a second from Commissioner Freilich. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none. Mr. Scott?
Aye.
Ms. Freilich?
Aye.
Ms. Mutter?
Aye.
I also vote yes. Motion carries.
Vice President Melhoff, just to add for the public that may be watching is obviously we are applying for the grants. If there are going to be awarded funds, that we definitely would have public hearings and public input for the adjacent landowners that may be impacted by that.
Sure, thanks for that clarification. With that, item number 4, Bismarck Mandan Chamber Leadership Project.
Commissioners, as you know, in the past, Bismarck Mandan has a leadership group that goes around and kind of goes throughout the community and learns what different aspects of the community and, from a private sector to the public sector. And one of the projects that we've done in the past that's a very successful project with the leadership Bismarck Mandan is Eagles Park. Our universal playground was a project that came out of that leadership group. And before you tonight, as you can see, we've approved to move forward with another leadership group. And Andrew Strami, who was here tonight, is part of this committee. And it kind of goes back to Commissioner Mutter's kind of ideas about a winter, I guess, multi-purpose rec space in the community of Mandan that maybe can address everything from a sledding hill to a tubing hill to snowboarding. Again, not trying to compete with Huff Hills, but taking their considerations of what they offer and what they provide, but what can be done in a city limit standpoint. And so the idea here before you is no commitment to the park district on behalf of any type of financial commitment. They're going to put together a study, look at different sites, look at different amenities, and bring back basically a business plan of how we could potentially operate this. We've had discussions with the new Mandan Rodeo. How could we utilize that site for potentially competition hockey games where we have the Bismarck Mandan high schools, we have University of Mary, some of the club hockey teams, turn it into a big festival type event. Takes a lot of people to pull that off, takes a lot of resources to pull it off, but I think this would be a first step to see how and if we can combine ice skating to cross-country skiing to snowshoeing to sledding all in one kind of area. So we kind of took Commissioner Mutter's ideas and thoughts that he had shared and presented that to the leadership group saying, is there a way that we could work together? And so it will be I think it has to be done by the end of May. If I look at April 10th is kind of when they would come back to the park board, kind of with their business plan. Again, doesn't commit us to any of the funds, but as you know, we're going into our 24 budget cycle. We'll start that in June or July. If that's something that we think meets our strategic plan, we can decide where that goes and how we proceed and then move forward from there. Any questions you may have regarding the leadership project? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Item 5, Commissioner Staff Reports. Cole?
I have none.
Dave?
I just wanted to touch briefly on winter days. We had our winter days in January. We had a few events go on with the luau coloring contest, water aerobics, free senior activities, public skate, volleyball tournament, free swim. We had roughly about 800 participants throughout all the activities that we had. Couple of them were up, couple of them were down, but I mean, we're looking at trying to incorporate some new stuff with the tennis center next year. I know that Commissioner Mutter talked about the library, so maybe we can get in touch with the library and do some stuff with them too. So we're looking at some new stuff for next year, but that's kind of just the wrap up of the 2023 Winter Days event. So yeah, any questions I can answer about that?
Thanks, Dave. Commissioner Mutter?
I hate to even say anything because we've got so much snow. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But I just want to thank all the citizens in Mandan. I just talked to Dustin this morning, and he was talking about how nice it is that he hasn't had any complaints, and they're working hard to clean up. So I'm on the other side today. I'm going to just say thanks to the city of Mandan citizens for having support our staff. So thank you. And then I just want to reiterate, Dave, I was around a lot of that stuff for winter days. You guys did a nice job. Keep it up. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Commissioner Freilich?
I've got nothing.
Commissioner Scott?
I've got nothing.
No report for me. Item 6, authorized payment of the monthly bills. What are the board's wishes?
I would move to approve or authorize the payment of the monthly bills.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Freilich. Any other comments? All those in favor of paying the monthly bills, state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Payment of monthly bills is authorized. Future meeting dates for Park Board Commissioners. April 10th, we have a regular scheduled board meeting at 5:30 right here at this location. Appears that's all. Seeking a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor state aye.
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 We are adjourned.